What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B Hot Radio Shout in. Stepping in the building, I got a friend and family member to the show off in this thing. Adonis, the broker. What's good with it, boss?
What's happening?
Okay, now, AD, you know, what's going on with the brokerage, man? As an entrepreneur out here in these streets and understanding this market and stuff like that, what has it been like for you navigating these waters coming from the pandemic all the way up until now where it seems like stuff is starting to cool down?
I would say for the most part, I'm adjustable, I'm flexible. So now I do a lot more off the market working with investors on the commercial side as well. So I haven't really felt the brunt of this change in the market like other people because I'm kind of growing. I'm doing some different things. Yeah. Kind of got burnt out on just solely residential. So I let a lot of my agents do the residential.
Okay. So now, right now, everybody's up in arms because of this recession.
Recession, the R word.
Talk to me, man. What are your thoughts on this, and how do you feel like it's going to impact real estate in Atlanta and across the country?
Great question. So first, we are in a recession. So I don't want to hear all those technical terms about if we are, we aren't. Don't let nobody trick y'all out.
Exactly.
The first thing is with the recession, it's typically every 7 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. And what happened was the president before this one kind of threw a monkey wrench in their system.
That's right.
He kept everything going, and they kind of wanted to put stuff to a halt. And we saw that kind of in Atlanta where it was like, hey, we in a pandemic, let's shut everything down. And you saw our governor and a lot of other governors like him just kept it going. So typically, like I said, it's between 7 to 10 years, but now since the last one's been like 15 years, B. Yeah. 15 years.
That's real.
So let's be honest first before I go into
Talk to me.
Man, we had a long time to get our shit together in our community. Yeah. A long time. The interest rates were sub 4, a lot of times sub 3 for like 7 or 8 years. Yeah. They were giving out all these, if you want to stay inside the city of Atlanta, you still had the same Invest Atlanta programs and all that. Yeah. And a lot of us missed out on the wave for whatever reason. And now a lot of people are upset because, Atlanta looks different now. Yeah. It's not affordable. And now people are hoping that this recession makes it a little more affordable, makes a correction in the market.
Exactly.
So a lot of business people like recessions because if you worth $100,000, you should be worth $1 million after a recession.
Exactly.
Worth $1 million, you should be worth 10.
Exactly.
So you should chase your next zero under a recession.
Okay, so how do you think, what is this recession in the real estate market in Atlanta? What do you think that's going to look like, man?
All right, so we got a few wild cards, okay?
Talk to me.
The interest rates, first of all.
Yeah.
So they are about in the 5s right now, low 5s.
Okay.
So that's drastically different than last year when you still could get something in the low 3s. You know what I mean? That pretty much is going to add 500 or so to your monthly note. Yeah. You know what I mean? A range, I say, between 450 and 700 on the high end, depending on, your taxes. But also the interest rates, but we don't know where they're going to top out. Okay. So even if we don't have this inflated market where it's like a lot of the Zillows and a lot of the open doors and a lot of these hedge funds were putting their money together and just buying up all the single family properties. So the hedge funds were competing with the first time home buyers. So you couldn't get a house because you couldn't outbid the cash.
Facts.
So now, they're starting to panic and say, recession's coming, let's unload. So in theory, we should have more supply and a less demand if the interest rates are high. So if the investors are unloading and then the interest rates are high, it's going to be weird because a lot of the first-time home buyers are going to have to figure out, do I want to buy this house at a lower price but a 6?
Well, I bought my house at a 6 back in 08.
And we were kind of happy to get under 6. Happy to get I bought my 07, exactly. And we were happy, but we don't know to what depth they're going to do to correct this market. They say correct it, but it's really to take it to hell. You see what I'm saying? and I want people to not think about it emotionally. We got to think about this from a cyclic thing. Okay. I want people to go back and study what the interest rates were and the purchase prices in 2005, 2006, and then 07, and then what happened in 08.
Exactly.
Then go 10 years before that. Look at 98. Like let's study it. So I think that's what's gonna have to grow in our community a lot of times is that emotional intelligence. Yeah. Like, let's not look at the sticker shock and say, oh my gosh, let's really study. It's a game. This is a game.
How do you feel like Airbnb impacted Atlanta, especially as somebody that had some?
Yeah, and look, I loaded right at the right time.
Yeah.
All right, so unfortunately, a lot of the investors, you know, they have this different stipulation with Airbnb where, first of all, you got to live in the city of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So that's gonna hurt a lot of out of towners. Then you can't have more than one. So it's like, okay,
they got to unload them things.
But you got to think about it from a business sense. So if Atlanta is about to be a global city,
facts,
and international, you know, huge companies coming here setting up shop, right? Mm-hmm. Now we got the World Cup coming in 2026.
That's right.
So do we want to give all that money to investors that don't live here, or do we want to give it to the local hotels and businesses and all? You see what I'm saying? So it's really more of a play in politics and lobbying. You know, a lot of people lobby, a lot of these businesses lobby for this stuff to change. And, you know, so I understand it as an investor. I understand that it was very lucrative. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of work, but it was very lucrative. But, you know, I kind of got out ahead of it.
Exactly.
Luckily.
Pros and cons of the recession, though. Like you said, that folks need to be chasing that next zero. How do you go about chasing that next zero? Because I heard what you said, but how are you supposed to do it?
Diversification.
Okay, now.
I want people to really think about some other stuff. Look at the cost of gold and silver now. Mm-hmm. Gold and silver.
Well, it looks like you done bought it all up.
Well, you know that. Shout out to all my Igbo people, my Euro, but that's just the culture. But anyway, look at different investments. So me, I'm into a few different things. So stocks. You know, they're going to be on a discounted rate.
Okay.
So you can make a lot of plays with stocks that pay dividends. That's a stream.
Okay.
Crypto, you do what you do with crypto. Some people love it, some people hate it. But you can trade that like you do options, okay? Thanks. But that's more of a learned skill. Yeah. You know, you just can't get in. You're going to lose everything you got if you play in that.
Play with it.
But if you think about stuff like gold and silver, if you look at the cost right now of an ounce of gold, I think it's under $1,700. So what's the importance of that? And I hate to get political, God damn it. But you know, they saying that Russia and China, they're coming together and they're doing stuff. They're going to create a currency backed by gold and silver.
I saw that.
So now if we have gold and silver at a extremely discounted rate, and they're saying it's going to get even lower, I would just kind of buy a little bit.
Yeah.
Every month, every quarter, as we going into this recession, and it's more of a medium to long term play. Yeah, you can also, and I think a good website for that is www.kitco.com. Also, commercial real estate. So commercial real estate is considered duplexes to quads, 2 to 4 units. Even, you know, strip malls, depending on your capital. Yeah. This is a time for group economics.
Thanks.
In our community. I know a lot of us don't have the highest group esteem, especially when it comes to economics, but this is the time where if you can get 3 or 4 people, you know what I mean? Or even a husband and a wife. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like a household, a mom, a dad, a dad and a daughter. You know, if we can just do that, like this stuff is going to be so discounted. It's literally a cycle. When I say a cycle, I mean buy low. Yeah. Hold and sell high. Look at everybody that bought between 2008 and 2013.
13.
You see what I'm saying? When they were unloading during the pandemic, I mean, I'm like, that was me.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is just the time for it, man. It's the time for it.